Andi.
Hi, Lynell.
It's when you're having babies.
All the time. Sorry, I ruined it. When are you going to get married?
Are you maxing out your 401k?
Have you ever had an STD?
Do you believe in God?
Why is it taking you 6 days to get back to my text? What am I supposed to look at?
Me? I don't know.
Okay.
You can look at the camera. Hi, everybody. I am here with a good friend, Andriana Baruffi. She is an amazing creator that we've known each other for 20-some years.
It's true.
My cohort in crime and creativity. You make amazing dolls. And I don't know if you could show the camera maybe some of the things you got going on at the moment.
That's a good point. I don't have any dolls.
We're not stuffed yet. We'll get some footage.
Prelude to a doll. This
Yeah.
is a monster doll.
They're fantastic. So many colors, so much personality. So what got you into making these dolls?
A very, very bad day.
Is that really?
I had a horrible day one day, and I went home, and I was so frustrated, and I was like, I have to make this bad day. And I made the most god-awful doll ever. And it was amazing, and it gave me complete release and relief. And then I enjoyed it so much that I kept making dolls.
Okay. And you started out, like, you've done a lot of things.
I have done a lot of things.
I have some amazing
Nothing
stuff
on the record, however.
I will be showing, though, the audience, I have amazing stained glass that you've done.
That's true.
I have some cool, you've done, like, little clay figurines. So
Tiniest of the miniatures.
Yes, you've made a lot of things, so you've kind of morphed over the years a little bit.
Short attention span.
So one thing I wanted to talk about was about, like, we both have full-time jobs. Part of just the reality of living, as well as, like, doing our creative work on the side.
This is like a key survival tactic in the art world. Making an income somewhere else.
Paying bills. It is a sad reality. And I know I struggle with, like, getting home at the end of the day and keeping up the energy. You are incredibly prolific. Like, what's your workflow?
I really want to get into the crazy dog story.
Well, you do obviously
Okay,
create a lot either way.
Here is how my dog has totally changed my life. You cannot work after work. According to my dog, you have to go to bed right away. So you get up super early on the weekends and you just plow through creating until it is time to feed the dog.
It's like, when do you get up on weekends?
Usually between 6:30 and 7.
That's amazing.
Sometimes 2:30. Just depends on
2:30 in the morning?
Yeah.
Mm.
Not on a regular basis.
Yeah.
Sometimes though, you have stuff you have to get done.
Mm.
So you could go back to bed at about 8. But yeah, so everybody has things in their life that try to keep them from creativity and creating. And one of those things is my dog.
Mm.
So I have to wait until my dog is sleeping in order to hurry and do some art work. And then he wakes up and needs to be fed. And then he wants to go back to bed. That is what he does.
How do you keep up just creative motivation in general? Like, what do you have any thing that works for you? Because just like to just get up every day, go to work, get home, and then get up on the weekend and just plow through work. Like, what keeps it fresh for you?
Well, first of all, I'd go completely insane if I didn't have a creative outlet. So it is a pressure that continues to build while I'm working on spreadsheets all day, even though I love working on spreadsheets all day too.
That's a little neurotic.
Yeah, that's weird. Scratch that. Edit that out. Can't go on the record. But yeah, so first of all, I have to. But second of all, daydreaming. I know you talked about that in one of your other videos. That is like
meta.
One of my favorite pastimes is to like be working but also be dreaming.
Mm-hmm.
And then I really like, so there's this whole thing about social media where everybody's like, it's a bad thing because it makes you feel less like you're not living up to your potential, and you're looking at all these people who are doing amazing things and you get jealous or you get depressed. But I really look at it as inspiration, and it gets me really excited to go and create my own things. So even when I'm wasting time looking at like Pinterest, I'm looking at other artists, and I'm looking at things that other people have created, and it gets my creativity going, and it just puts that drive in me to like go and make something.
Yeah. I think that's really particular about social media, in that you can make the experience what you want it to be. You can choose who you follow.
That is life in general, people.
Yeah.
Fun fact.
So if you follow people that are genuinely inspiring and interesting to you, and not just like lifestyle influencers,
right,
for whatever reason, like follow people that
give
you life.
Yes. Don't follow people because you want to be those people. Follow those people because they inspire you to be yourself and find your own way of doing things. And having creative release.
Really well. That's good. Like saying everything in like a
that
really
statement
package. Yeah.
Is like from 18th Street Brewery right there. Inspired right there.
We had a great lunch today.
Yes, we did. We had an amazing
Call out
lunch.
to Miller, Indiana.
Fantastic cocktails.
Very good. And beers. And tofu wraps.
Yeah, you would think those couldn't be fantastic, but they
were fantastic. We talked a little bit too earlier about perfectionism and the role that plays in kind of like hindering creativity.
Yes.
What do you...
Perfectionism is a demon in my book. Not for everyone, because obviously some people are perfectionists and actually make amazing art, but I think it's a huge hindrance for a lot. I mean, you just said hindrance. I just used the word because she used the word.
Psychological planting.
Yes. But so many people that I talk to, when they're like, oh my God, I love what you make, I could never do that. And it's because they come at it from a place of like, I need to create the perfect result. And rather than taking joy in the process and actually having fun in just making something and playing, I watched all of her previous videos. I learned. Instead of like taking joy in the process of it and just having fun, they have an image in their mind of what they want to make. And if it doesn't come out exactly the right way, they feel like they're a failure. And then they stop trying because they think that they're bad at art then.
Yeah. And I think we've all experienced this as creators.
Yes.
Like you try something, and if it doesn't just work, you're like, well, I can't, this is crap, and you can't do it. And then you wallow for a while before you can get yourself out of it.
Right.
And it's so, and even though I know I made a video where I talked about this, I still struggle with it. I definitely still struggle with it. And you always have to check yourself and like find ways to let go.
Find ways to let go. And also, a lot of people have a very limited idea of what being an artist is. So I am not good at drawing. I'm not good at painting like realistic things. That is not my art form. But there are so many other art forms out there. Like, I mean, play with clay, play with fabric. There's assemblage art out there that's completely amazing, where people are just taking weird bits and gluing them together and making awesome sculptures. Like, there's so many different ways that you can be creative and create that I think a lot of people say, well, I'm not good at drawing, so I'm not good at art. And I wish I was creative, but I'm not. And in reality, there is a way for every single person out there to be creative and to create.
Totally agree.
You just have to find your medium, and you have to not be scared of not coming up with the perfect product that you can put in an art gallery. Which, by the way, there's a lot of weird shit in art galleries, and it's more about who you know than what you make. So don't judge yourself by that.
Yeah, that's tough. Like if you are somebody that's submitting to art galleries or shows or publications and you're not getting those submissions, you get that rejection letter, and that can be really devastating. it can, like, you can start to judge your self-worth, like, oh, well, it's because I'm not good enough. But you know what? Screw that.
Yeah. Well, the other thing with, like, galleries and formal places like that is that they have a brand and an image to uphold as well.
And an audience that they know they can sell to.
That they can sell to. Exactly. So if your art doesn't fit what their audience is looking for, they will reject you because they are a business. And it doesn't mean that your art isn't amazing and that your art doesn't have an audience. It just means that that particular venue is not the audience and that is not the venue for you.
Yeah.
So, again, this is something I think social media is amazing for. There's millions of people out there, and I guarantee you there is at least one person on this planet that loves what you make. And sometimes it's the stuff that you hate.
Not just your mom either.
Not just your mom. Yes, my mom has bought like an obscene amount of my art. I'm always like, I don't really want your money, Mom.
Yeah.
I'll make you something for
always
free.
Appreciate the support, and that's
Yes.
lovely. Like, your family support means a lot, but yeah.
Yes. So that, yes. But too many people judge themselves on, like, not getting into a certain gallery or whatever, and that it's probably just not the right venue for you.
I would almost say, like, a percentage of being successful as a creator or an artist is being able to handle rejection in a successful manner.
Yeah.
Like, take that and put it to use.
Well, okay. So success in life, I would think, is believing in yourself and not waiting to be validated by other people, whether it's your art or anything else.
It's great. And definitely that's the thing to strive for. And I know I strive for that. It is sometimes easier said than practiced. Like, you always, it's one of those things you just always have to check yourself.
Right. Well, again it comes
Yeah.
back to have, like, joy in the process.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you have fun with what you're making, no matter what, like, you still have that joy. Like, nobody can take that joy away from you. So until you're, like, you're not paying attention to the joy that you have in the process, you're only judging yourself and feeling the value on whether the end product is actually being sold or accepted into these galleries and everything. Like, that's where you lose, period. That's where you lose in general, like, because you're putting your self-worth in someone else's hands, and that's never a win situation.
Yeah. And I could speak to that in terms of, like, creating work that's not done out of, like, my own desires and joys, but doing it to try to create an end point of trying to get hired or trying to get a certain type of job. Like, that work is never as good. Like, the stuff that you make that's raw and coming from a real interior place is always the things that people seem to respond to the most. Mm-hmm. And when I really realized that and embraced that, like, I definitely took a turn in my creative work, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, you can't think about, like, what will sell, because that's a business viewpoint, but it's not an artistic viewpoint. I think the true beauty of art is when you are creating something that you truly find joy in and enjoy doing and don't care about the end result necessarily. I might be repeating myself here.
The double edge of that is that ultimately you kind of have to be your own business too. Yes. So that, like, you have to have clear delineations of the art part and the business part, but you kind of have to learn about both of those things. But you do kind of have to separate them to be the best artist you can be. I think that's
But you can
totally
be an
true.
Amazing business person.
Yes,
and and whatever, maybe whatever you're making still sells well and you consider that a win.
Yeah, if you're great at marketing and you can just sell yourself, and there's a lot of people that do, and that's awesome for them.
But that is soulless for me.
Yeah.
That's just not what I'm trying to get out of art.
Just because that works for some people, like for somebody who's really creating because you, like, have a drive to just pull something out of your soul and put it on paper, fabric, whatever. Like, it becomes a soulless chore if you're just doing it not because it's what's in you. It depends on the type of person you are, I guess.
Yeah, those are beige people.
As you can tell, she likes color.
To an obscene
is a rainbow in my life. There's no doubt about it.
Lynell told me once that I didn't have enough color in my outfits, and
she what type of guy
never tell me that again.
There was one occasion in our lives that we got together, and she was, like, wearing mostly black, and I'm like, Did something break when we were not together? Like, that's not right.
Were you robbed?
Yeah.
Do you not have your wardrobe anymore?
Are you feeling okay? Would you like to talk?
I probably just hadn't done laundry in a really long time. That's probably what it was.
Yeah, usually it's the other way around. I'm in all black.
Laundry's not a priority, guys.
No.
Sorry.
Especially if you have coin-operated laundry.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That's the worst. I don't have that. I really should do laundry more often.
So what, like, I think something else that we can both relate to, like we did our little bit about, like, some awkward questions.
Yeah, I wasn't sure what that was all about. That was all her.
Awkward. And, yeah, well, I don't know. I'm can be exceptionally awkward in a social situation or even non-social situations.
She enjoys it a little too much.
Yeah, and somebody messages me back and I have to respond. It's like panic attack, wait 2 days to figure out how to say something. And yeah, it's super awkward.
And social media will judge you on that because they tell people what time frame to expect a response. And so you got to keep that up, man.
Yeah. And on top of, like, but besides, I think it's almost people expect artists to be a little bit, like, socially not, like, the most smooth and necessarily sharp. Like, there are the people who are, but
yeah.
Then there's the hermit folk. Yeah. And also, like, I think, like, we both experienced some interesting things in life. Just, like, we're just living life the way we want to live. Like, one thing in the questions is, like, not getting to your maybe parents' jargon, not getting married, not having babies, but just doing the things that feel...
I got married, but it was for money. Starving artists, you do what you gotta do.
Anyway, but yeah, we've both done things in a very, like, we have... Like, we've gone through.
Non-traditional,
yeah,
I believe is the term.
But it's about figuring out a way to live that is truest to what you actually want and not what is necessarily expected of you. Like, just like the expectation of how you do things.
Your life. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. They're amazing. Everyone else should have them, just not me.
Yeah.
And Lynell, because she's my savior.
But I think that I think it's so easy to fall into the trap of this is what you're supposed to do. Like, as a creator and as an artist, like, I think that's especially a place where you kind of have to look at how do you actually want to live your life. I think we forget to examine this at some state. You got out of college, you graduate college, you go to college, or you get out of high school, you graduate college, you look for somebody to pair up with, you marry, buy a house, have kids. Like, is less now.
You look for a job that can pay the bills.
Yeah, well, that was I know that almost destroyed me coming out of college and working at a bank.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was a weird part of Lynell's life. I saw her in a bank once, and it was creepy. I didn't know what to do.
Legit?
I think I turned around and ran out.
Legit.
I thought I was, like, pod people place.
But yeah, when you follow that, if it's... Like, it might be right for you. You might be a person who follow the social norms, not good or bad.
We need those
is the way
people.
to go. But I think that it pays to take a minute and actually think about how do you actually want to live your life? Like, how do you want to spend your time? And this goes for artists and everybody. And I think this is just something that we talk about a lot.
Yeah,
and think about
we
a
do.
lot.
We get together and we make art and we just bitch about it all the time. I just swore on your show.
That's okay.
This is what I bring.
I can beep you out. Sure, we'll see.
Yes, totally. Do like some fancy beep.
Oh, this will be something super obnoxious. Maybe a cat meow.
Oh, yeah. I like that.
We'll do that. But yeah, it's just, I think that's something that is really easy to, especially in your 20s, when we're kind of dumb and stupid and just living life and not
dumb and stupid and
idealistic and think everything just works out. It doesn't go that way, folks. I hate to tell you.
I'm not a strategy person, but you kind of do have to put some strategy in place. At least put some limitations.
Yeah.
Because other people will try and run your life if you let them.
Yeah. I mean, I made my 20s were a share of bad decision making based on what I needed to do.
I don't remember my 20s.
And everything that happened in that time just seemed to take me further away from, like, I got my art degree, I got out of college, and then it's like everything that I was doing that I felt like I had to do was just taking me further away from that. So once I got real with myself about how I wanted to live my life and what was important, then, like, the clouds part and you can actually feel good about who you are again and work at things you love to do that actually give you some kind of like sustenance and like your soul.
Yeah. Color. Glitter. I don't have my glitter, guys. I'm sorry. I would like to do a glitter confetti.
Buttons.
I do have buttons. This grosses some people out. Buttons. It's like candy, but you can't eat it. Just suck on it.
I hope they're disinfected when you suck on them.
This is what you get from every doll. I'm just kidding. I don't suck on the buttons. It's disgusting, guys.
All right, I'm going to show you guys some of her dolls. They're amazing. I have one plus a bunch of your other stuff at home. Some of my favorite things that I own. I'm going to put links in the description to her Etsy store. You guys really got to check out her stuff. It's super amazing at her Instagram account.
I'm nodding because I also think they're amazing.
Have some confidence, folks. Like, love what you do. It's huge. Makes a difference. All right. Well, thank you, Andi, for your time in Pretty Paint Fumes, and I hope everybody loves you as much as I do.
Well, that would be weird, but maybe a small degree.
All right. Awesome. We'll see you guys next time. I just realized that light wasn't even on.
Oh, no.